Welcome back, everybody, to another edition of Daf Discussions. Today's Daf is Menachos Shabbos, Daf Chav Zayin. I'd like to start wishing everyone learning the Daf Moshe Tzlocha on today's Daf. It is a very complicated Daf. The bottom Rashi on Amar Aleph by Rav Papa is very confusing. Whenever I see that, it gets me knocked off. So I wish everyone Moshe Tzlocha in figuring it out. We are going to be discussing part of Amud Beis, which we're not going to discuss anything about Amud Aleph, because over here in Daf Discussions, what we aim to do is to pick a topic which is related to the daf. We don't have to discuss every topic. It's just something which ties in somehow. In a way, it's very similar to Rabbi Fran's Chumash Shiurim. To those who've listened to him, you probably understand what I'm referring to. So now the Gemara says, Re'isam Oisai Prat L'Ksus Laila, that a Ksus Laila, a night garment, is potter from Tzitzis. Now, what is the definition of Ksus Laila, a night garment? Shulchan Aruch brings down two shittas. In Siman Yud Ches Sif Aleph, Laila Lazman Tzitzisu. The Rambam Kol Mashalevish B'Laila Potter Afilu Miyuchad L'Loyim. Whatever you wear by night's potter, even if it's a day garment. Umashalevish B'Yoyim Chayev Afilu Miyuchad L'Laila. If you wear anything by day, it's Chayev, even if it's a night garment. Ula Rosh, it's totally the Ksus. Ksus HaMiyuchad L'Laila Potter Afilu Levish B'Yoyim. Ksus HaMiyuchad L'Yoyim. L'Yoyim B'Laila Chayev Levish B'Laila. The Rambam holds it is totally the Zman. Anything you wear by day is Mechuyev and Tzitzis, no matter what it is, even if it's pajamas. And the Rosh, and by night, the vice versa. By night, anything is potter, even if it's a day garment. And the Rosh holds it's totally in the garment, has nothing to do with the time. Anything a day garment is chayiv and tzitzis no matter when you wear it, and a night garment is potter from tzitzis no matter when you wear it. With regards to Shittas Rashi, the Gemara points out it's a stira. Rashi in Menachos Daf Mem, he's over there. The Gemara wanted to say sadin but tzitzis. The Gemara said it is a gzeri. You shouldn't wear klein because we're afraid you're going to wear it by ksus laila, which is potter. Rashi said, what's a ksus laila? So Rashi, we're afraid you're going to wear it by that beged by night. So Rashi is mavur like the shita of the Rambam that it's totally in the zman, it's not totally in the beged. However, Rashi, the girl points out Rashi and Chav Hey and Beis, and it's as well Rashi and Chav Zayin by us. Today's that Rashi they also said exer sadim b'tzitzis. Rashi says of ksus laila shemi hele ksus shemi yuchid leilis. We're afraid you're going to have a ksus which is miyuchid for night. In other words, it's totally in the beged. It's not totally in the time. So that would appear like the shita of the Rosh. Now Rashi on Chazayin today's daf as well. He defines ksus laila, ksus hamiyuchid leilis, a ksus which is miyuchid for night. That is clearly like the shita of the Rosh. So the Gemara points out it's a stira b'das Rashi. So the Karanayar wants to miyashiv the stira. He says as follows: that Rashi holds like a third pshat. He holds like the shita of the Ran. The Ran in Kedushin in the back on the Rif. He says not like Rashi or the Rambam, rather anything that has to do with night is potter. Whether it's a ksus laila mamish or you're wearing it by night. In other words, a ksus yom which you wear by night is potter. A ksus laila which you wear by yom is also potter. The only time you're mechayiv is a ksus yom which you wear by yom. So he says there's no stira. Each time he says a different explanation, but they're both true. Both ksus lailas are potter. So he asks, but why in Menachos did he say one pshat here? He says a different pshat. So he says as follows: in Menachos, he's explaining a gzeira. They were afraid you're going to come to wear it by night. So it's not mistaber to make a gzeira if to a different beged. The gzer is only for that beged itself. You can wear that beged by night. We're not going to make a gzer. You can come to wear a different beged. Mashenkin over here is explaining the truth. The definition of a ksus laila is a ksus hamiyuchad l'leilis. The Karanayar himself points out that it's not going to answer the Rashi and Chav Hey Beis, who's also talking about a gzera. And over there he says, like the Rosh as well, that it's a ksus hamiyuchad l'leilis. So he says it's not such a good teretz. It's not going to answer Rashi and Chav Hey Beis. But the fact that Rashi could hold like the Ran, in other words, it's not such a tremendous steer that it still stays with. So the Karanayar's brother, who was the Mishkanis Yankiv, very good. Those of you who knew that, he says a different teretz to Miyashiv Rashi and Chav Hey Beis. He says that the Rosh and the Rambam, the Machlekes depends on a different shaila in Gemara Menachos. Is tzitzis a chayv zman or a chayv gaver? The Gemara is a shaila if tzitzis is mechuyev even if you're not wearing it, or it's the beged is mechuyev to put on tzitzis, or it's only and therefore you would even make a bracha when you put on the tzitzis. I'll see as tzitzis, or it's a chayv in the gaver. So he says if tzitzis is a chayv in the beged and it's totally in the beged, so too. So then it'll be like the Rosh Hashita that goes by the beged. A beged laila is potter always, and a beged yom is chayiv always. Mashen kain, if you hold chayvus gavra, so he says Rashi Chafei, he's clearly he's going chayvus mana. Rashi himself speaks out earlier in Shittas Vishami that the sukkah is going chayvus mana. So therefore he says it's telling the beged like the Rosh. Mashen kain, Rashi Menachos, he's going the mandamar chayvus gavra. As they state the Mishkan is Yankim. Now with regards to the sheet of the Rosh that it's telling the Zman, the Tur agrees to the Rosh apparently, and he says another thing. He says, suppose someone goes to sleep with his beged and he wakes up with a day beged, regular clothing, and he wakes up with it. He says he does not make a new bracha. Zok the Beis Yosef. Why? He says because he holds like his father the Rosh that it's totally in the beged itself. So therefore, the ksus yoyim which you wore by night, you were always mechayiv in tzitzis. So there was never a hefsek. This is the end of Siman Ches. There was never. You're talking about you go to sleep in ksus yoyim. There was never a hefsek. So it was always chayiv in tzitzis. So if you don't make a new bracha. However, the Beis Yosef asks, the Rosh in the Tshuva says otherwise. So he's matmi on the tour for not bringing down the Rosh's father's shita and Shulis. And Be'etzim, it's a very shver kasha. What is pshat in the Rosh? The chayr, if the Rosh l'shitasi holds that it's telling the beged, so how come if you wake up with a ksus yoyim, why do you need a new bracha? The chayr, there was never ever a hefstik. Tzarech in the Beis Yosef gives a pshat. It's a little shver. I don't understand it 100%. Now the Shaagas Aryeh asks a tremendous question on the Rosh from the gemara in Menachos Staff Mem Gimel. The gemara says two things about Rav Yehuda. First of all, he gave his daughters tzitzis. Second of all, every morning when he put on his talis, he would make a bracha. The Gemara asks, these two things contradict each other. From the fact he gave his daughters tzitzis, that shows that he holds it's not a mitzvah seisha as man grama. Why is that? It must be because he holds Laila is as man tzitzis. He holds a ksus Laila is chayiv. Frank Gemara, if a ksus Laila is chayiv, I would say there's never ever a hefsik. So even so, when you put on his tzitzis in the morning for the first time, you should not make a bracha. And the Gemara now was assuming that suppose that tefillin, even if you take it off in the middle of the day, you put it on 5 hours later. The Gemara is assuming, like the shita of their chachamim, that you only make one bracha a day. And the Gemara answers, no, we hold like Rabbi that you make a bracha each time, so tzitzis is no different. But in the Gemara's having, the Gemara is saying, so if you only make a bracha once by tefillin, so if you hold ksus lail is chayiv, you're chayiv by night, so you should only make a bracha once. The first time in your life you put it on, or maybe it's a huge hefsek for a year. I don't know exactly this year, but the Gemara's kasha is that since it's always a man chiyiv, you should not require a new bracha every single day. The Shaagas Aryeh asks the chayra according to the Rosh, it's shver l'kuli alma, because according to even if you hold ksus lailas potter, it's still shver. Because if ksus lailas potter, but ksus yoyim which you wear by lailas chayiv, so the kuli alma is shver that there was never a hefsek. So the kuli alma, the Gemara should ask that why do you make a bracha? Why did he make a bracha in the morning? Why is Gemara only asking? Because he holds that it's not as man grama. So Mordechai Bennet, and as I go Pirish in the Mordechai says a gevaldige teretz. He says betzim and shver the other way around that you should always need a new bracha because tzitzis is different than tefillin. Let's say tefillin you need a bracha once a day. Why is that? Because the entire day is this man tefillin. He says tzitzis is never man tzitzis because you're only mechoyev if you're wearing a dalet canvas. Tefillin you're mechoyev the whole day. A beged if you're not wearing dalet canvas you're never mechoyev. So each time you take it off and put it on, betzim is a new chiv. So what's pshat the chlal in the Gemara that there should be such a tzad that you should that one bracha should pater? So he says the reason is because there is some sort of chiv during the day that Hashem punishes b'idin rischa if a guy doesn't wear tefillin, doesn't wear tzitzis. So therefore, if Hashem punishes you, so there is some sort of chiv. So therefore, the Gemara so the Gemara understood if you hold that Laila your potter, then what you should make at least a new bracha in the morning. But so then he speaks out. But that's only if you hold that if you hold that the only time he punishes b'idin rischa is by day. By night, even if a ksus yoyim is chayiv b'laila. But there's no even risk. Hashem is not going to punish you by night for not taking on and wearing a ksus yoyim by night. So therefore, he explains that that's the Gemara is asking. The Bishleim, if you would have held that Laila, your potter, ksus Laila's potter, you would then it would be good. He makes a bracha in the morning, not because that the night was a hefsek, rather because vakaret every time you wear tzitzis, it's a new zman chiv. So and there was no even rischa at night. So Mamela, there's nothing connecting them. The Gemara is asking, but since Rav Yehuda held that ksus laila is chayiv, so then even rischa if you ksus laila is chayiv, it's always a chayiv. So even rischa you be mechayiv. And then for Gemara, so therefore, there's never ever a hefsek. So therefore you should vakat. So therefore every time, so therefore it's always one zman, right? So you should never have to make a new bracha.